Hi, babies. How you doing? Hi there, babies. 4 beautiful bucks right there. Actually 5. There's another one right out there. I think all 5 of those are bucks. I'm not 100% sure. I'm standing out here on the porch on the front deck, barefooted. Came a good rain last night, 0.6 of an inch. Some places a little bit west of us. I know those 3 are bucks for sure. Yeah, that one's a buck also. And I'm pretty sure that one is also. TC's out there. I think maybe Fat Boy. Catch Fat Boy right there. Just head toward the feeder. That's TC right there in the background. Still no Mr. Force. Mr. Force, and the one that we really hate to lose is Little Whitey also. Little Whitey and Force is the 2 deer that I was really hoping would make it through the rut. You know, Little Whitey had his first horns and they were fantastic. Force was 4 years old and just was a beauty, about 180, 175, something like that. And just absolutely a beauty. And look how fat that deer is right there. That might be a big doe that's pregnant with twins or triplets. Look at that deer. Look at that deer. I can't really tell. I don't see any nubbins there. It's not a fat doe, it's an awful fat buck. I don't see any, I don't know, I can't really tell. I don't think there's nubbins there. I think it's just a big old fat doe. So, I'm running that little buck off. That boy says, I'm running you off, boy. That looks good. You can see everything's getting green. I am getting ready to hit the road, hooking up to that Ranger, Shell Rotella Ranger boat. Just a few minutes. My truck's sitting right there. Hooking up to that Shell Rotella boat. And heading to New Orleans, LaPlace, Louisiana. Over 600 miles down there, so it's a full day drive. Pulling my boat, be putting the boat in the Louisiana Sportsman Show. Working all day tomorrow, getting it polished up and cleaned up and shined up. It takes several hours to get that after you drive it down the highway that far, especially with rain, wet roads like we had this morning. I'll be working there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at LaPlace and at the Louisiana Sportsman Show. By the time you see this video here, I think that will be or have already happened. But I will be at the Major League Fishing Championship in Huntsville, Alabama. Also, the first weekend in April. I don't know if we'll get this video on before then or not because I'm not going to be here much to shoot it. So this ranch video might not show for a while. We may have these little bunch of deer here this morning, then skip a few days and finish it up. But that's a good start. We'll see what we see leaving today. We never know. We might see enough to put a little short video up or something. You can see everything getting green behind them. Spring is sprung. The grass is riz. I wonder where the flowers is. You silly boy. Well, that is a pleasant sight for Jimmy. For sure. Good morning, everyone. 36 degrees. Can you believe that? We've had so many 80-degree days, some of them 88, 89-degree days, and it's 36 degrees here at the Eagle. But the deal is we are at the Eagle. Well, it's such a fantastic deal. It's got green since we've been gone. The trees still have a long way to go before they get full out, but that's going to happen pretty quick because we got 3.3 inches of rain last week, about 1.8 the week before, so we've had a little rain the last of March and the 1st of April. We have deer at the feeder, which is gorgeous. Let's see if we can zoom in on them a little bit there. They're kind of all fluffed up because it's cold out there. I don't know what that is. I think it's a couple of bucks right there. One of them that might be Fat Boy, looks like. That I'm not sure. That might be a mom and a baby. I think it's a mom and a little buck baby. Benelli just went out the dog door. That's what they turned around and got their attention for. I have been on the road for the second 18-day trip of the year. I have 2 18-day trips and a 14-day trip, in addition to the short ones. So I've really worked a lot in 2025. This last 18-day trip included the Bassmaster Classic, the Major League Fishing Red Chris Tournament, the Louisiana Sportsman Show presented by Shell Rotella, and a few churches, 3 or 4 churches in there. And look out, things are turning green. It's just going to get beautiful here in a few days. Deer kind of scattered around everywhere. It's too early for the feeder to go off, but it'll be going off here in a little bit. Should have more deer in. We have company coming in. My buddy Bill Eppards is coming in, and Joey, plus a couple of taxidermy friends of his, a couple that are a beautiful couple. I'm going to fish with them today and tomorrow here at the ranch. And then they're going on over to my buddy Joel Alexander's, who runs a great turkey hunting operation over at Sweetwater, Oklahoma, Joel Alexander. And I was hoping to go with him and hunt Friday. As it turned out, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have to be here at the ranch Friday. And then work in Dallas Saturday for Ranch Hand Grills and Kurt Trailer Hitches. Great friend of mine, John Robinson. So, but we'll be here at the ranch all week. More deer beginning to wander in as I look out there. It just seems like the woods sort of comes alive as we move closer to the time the feeder goes off. And what a great way to start another week, even though we're starting the week on Tuesday, not Sunday or Monday like we normally did. Sunday, I was at the Red Crest. Congratulations to my buddy Dustin Connell. I believe that Dustin did win the tournament. When I left, they were through fishing, and I think he had a 16-pound lead, and with just a few minutes left of fishing to go. When I got on the road and drove all night to get back to Sherry's house, pick up my beautiful Chris and get on her back on down here at the ranch last night. So the woods seem to be coming alive with deer. You look and they just sort of come from every direction. There'll be several there when that feeder does finally go off. And they've got a close eye on Benelli. There's no other way off out there. You see them, you look on the fringes of how far you can see out there, and deer just continue to show up. That's pretty cool. But we will be here all week. We've got friends here for 2 or 3 days. And I think Chris and I have one day that just be Chris and I, Benelli, and our 4-legged friends. Many of our 4-legged friends. We got down to, I think, 31 or 30 degrees or 29 or something. Not last night, but night before last. We covered our plants and stuff that we had outside. We have many of them inside. We've covered the ones outside, and hopefully we didn't lose anything. But that's a beautiful start to what's going to be a beautiful week at the Eagle. Now that's a funny sight. That is a funny sight. I haven't unloaded my truck. I backed it up there and hooked it up to electric because we're going to go fishing today. My buddy Bill Eppards and Joey's coming today, a couple of world champion archers that I fish and hunt with. And but I went to look at there. Look at there, big Canada goose. I went to look out there at the circle, and there's a lot of deer running around out there. I'd say a lot, maybe 6 or 8 or 10, I don't know. I hadn't counted them, but there's quite a few scattered around out there. But we got a couple of big Canada geese right in the middle of them. And got deer in the prayer circle. Deer walking around over here close to the house. Absolutely gorgeous. My beautiful Ram truck. Already got about 6,000 miles on that thing. So I've been on lots of trips here lately. I've had that Ram truck on display at the Take 5 show. Well, I actually had my red one there. The Take 5 show. I had to trade that red one in on that black one. In Disney World for 3 days. I've had that truck there at the Tractor Supply Show in Nashville for 3 days. I've had it at the Louisiana Sportsman Show, the Bassmaster Classic, the MLF Red Crest Tournament. So we've had thousands and thousands of people have put their eyeballs not counting the 5,000 or 6,000 miles I've already put on driving down the highway, waving at people, taking pictures. It was just fun to drive that truck because we see a lot of smiley faces, and I love to see smiling faces. I smile right back and wave at them. I really appreciate y'all that see me out on the highway and wave and honk and holler at me. But we have Canada geese out there, 2 of them. Now, I don't want those geese to tame down too much because they're a big mess. I don't want them up on my deck. I don't want them on the dock. Now, I'm not going to let Benelli run them off there from the feeder because I don't want the deer being spooked off. Benelli doesn't mess with the deer, but when the geese are out in the front yard, if there's only a couple of them I don't mind, but when several of them get out there, I have Benelli run them off. They don't go very far. They're obviously not afraid of Benelli. But I wouldn't mind them laying some eggs. I'm having some baby geese around here. We love that. We've had baby geese here a lot over the years. We enjoy them. We enjoy baby anythings. Chris and I once saw we might have another baby ourselves. Oh, Jimmy, don't even talk like that. Well, looky there. Looky there. We see these around not very often, but occasionally. That is 3 beautiful pair of Canada geese. 3 beautiful pair. And the reason I know they're a few beautiful pair because there's a mom and daddy, and another mom and daddy right there. And hopefully they're going to lay eggs around the lake right here. We might have some baby goslings this spring. We have a few just about every year. They have a difficult time. One of the reasons is a lot of coyotes and pigs. They like to lay out on the islands, which we do not really have many islands here. That one's bottoming up right there. They've been kind of carrying on something fierce down there this morning, so I think they're in the mood of making love and creating more baby geese. But those, they stay together. Once they mate, they're together forever. Roland Martin told me one time that when one dies, the other one stays a widow or a widower forever. Now, I don't know how he knows that. I don't even know if it's true or not, but a lot of things Roland tells me are true. A lot of them he's just making up. He doesn't know the answer. He just makes it up. But at any rate, whether they stay a widow or a widower the rest of their life or not, I have no idea. But it makes sense to me that if there's a lot more geese flying around and they're just as beautiful as the male or female that you just had as a mate for the rest of your life, you would be attracted to that lonely soul. Because geese, like everything else, they don't die at the same age. They die at different ages. Also, that's a game bird. They get hunted all throughout the year. And they have a lot of predators, just like everything else. And God's created them to survive. God's created them to make baby geese and teach them how. And mating for life, I don't know about. I guess that several of you know people that are a goose. Ask them. Ask them. How about that, boys and girls? How about that? A beautiful bald eagle. A gorgeous bald eagle sitting right there in the tree. And I mean, that's right in the edge of the yard. They don't get that close all that often. A bald eagle is really a pretty wary bird in the southern part of the United States. When you get up in Alaska and way up north, there's a lot of areas where you can see them and get relatively close to them. There's just so many, and many of them sort of tame up. Many times I've been fishing, particularly up in Canada, and occasionally in the Northwest and in Alaska, where we actually feed them by killing the fish and throwing it out around the boat or dropping it off. Look at him. Oh, he just did that to show off for us. Sort of flap his wings a little bit. I thought he was going to take off and fly. But we'll actually kill a fish and throw it out by the boat, and as it drifts a little bit away from the boat, a lot of times the bald eagle, he's watching carefully, and they will swoop down and get the fish off the top of the water. And they sort of become dependent upon the fishermen to do that, particularly if you've got a guide or you've done that before where you have bald eagle around. Obviously, they've got incredible eyesight, and they can see that fish floating, a little piece of it from a long way off. He's absolutely gorgeous right there. Big, beautiful bald eagle. The eagle doesn't look huge. It's probably 4 years old, maybe 5 years old. They are 4 or 5 years old before they mature to the point that they get the white on their head and the white in their tail, which that one does. More than likely, I would say that might be a female. No way to know for sure. I'm just sort of thinking a female might be a little bit smaller bird. The sun's shining beautifully on a couple pair of Canada geese that are down there. One pair out there and another pair right here close to the bank. Kind of in there enjoying their morning. It's 55 degrees out there this morning, which is pretty cool, but it's going to be up in the high 70s, maybe even 80 before the day's over. And then the wind is going to change around to the north, blowing from the south right now. Wind's going to change around and a little small front come through. A little cooler tonight and then right back up on tomorrow. It's a beautiful thing about getting into April. And May is just around the corner. The cool fronts are dropping down into the 50s, 40s, although it did get into the 30s last week. Just barely got down. Well, I say just barely. I think it got down to 33 or something one night. But I was gone, just looking at it on the weather, so it might even got to 29, I'm not sure. We had our plants covered that we have outside, so they made it through that cold snap. Beautiful, beautiful birds this morning. No deer in the yard, but there will be deer coming around later. What a treat. Big, beautiful American bald eagle. An Oklahoma Center bald eagle. Thought he might fly a little bit, soar around close by the house here. We can see him in flight. The sun shining on that beautiful white head and white tail. But he's just sitting there relaxing, enjoying himself, not paying much attention to anything, just giving us a treat, seeing a bald eagle up close. Our bald eagle has moved a little bit, but not much. Sort of repositioned himself in another tree, just a little bit further away from the yard. There's the yard right there, so he's a little bit further away than he was. I did not see him reposition. But our 2 pair of Canada geese are still feeding along the shoreline. But it'd be nice to get a beautiful picture of him soaring around. But turned around on that limb there, facing the other direction. Got his head down, might be praying this morning. I've seen pictures of him praying. I have actually a nice big painting of 2 bald eagles praying over the eagle. We certainly have God's blessings here at the Eagle. Maybe that guy is praying for Chris this morning. I know many of y'all have. I sure appreciate that. I actually prayed for her myself this morning. What a beautiful sight. Good morning, TC. There's the oldest deer on the ranch right there. You can see his nubbins are not really nubbins anymore. They're pretty decent size growing back. Another buck right there, a couple of bucks actually. Both of those are bucks. The deer behind him, I believe, is a buck as well. And that is Mr. TC, Thundercloud right there. A couple of smaller bucks. Those are pretty good sized bucks. A little smaller, but they're pretty good size. And I believe that over there is a buck as well. I'm pretty positive it is. So there's 4 boys out there this morning. We'll watch those antlers grow, see what they become. It's pretty nice nubbins on that one right there. I think that might be Fat Boy. No, Forrest, keep praying and hoping. Y'all keep wishing. Many of y'all are praying as well that Forrest comes back. And little Whitey, really, really, really. Those are 2 huge casualties from last year's rut. I should have put both of them in the pen probably. I didn't want Forrest in the pen. That's another buck there, it looks like. It's an awfully big deer, just about got to be a buck. But a little whitey I should have put back. He had some beautiful, beautiful horns. He's going to be a really giant like his daddy. He still could be alive, just moved on to different territories. Might not be alive, we don't know. It certainly could be. Those two deer there, I'm not really, looks like maybe those might not either one be bucks. Definitely those two there are. We're beginning to be able to tell the difference. That other deer is coming in. I believe that is a buck coming in as well. The trees are filling out a little bit more every day, but they've got a long way to go. You can look up through there and see all the blue sky. They still have a long way to go. We have a lot of green, but the cooler weather knocked them back a little bit. The rain and the warmer weather will help, obviously. And I'm pretty sure that's a buck coming in right there as well. So they're beginning to gang up this morning. 55 degrees out here. We're gonna have a beautiful day. Guess what? Jimmy has friends coming from Ohio. And I'm going fishing. Yes, I am. Getting ready to move that round truck, Shell Rotella Ranger boat out of the way so I can hook up to my tracker. SGTM, Sustainable Green Team Tracker. And we're gonna go fish Big Canyon Lake today. Yes, we are. Yay, Jimmy.